Hello there, everybody, and welcome back into this lecture in which you're going to learn a little bit about the legal stuff and how to protect yourself from copyright. Copyright is an issue, okay? And you have to take into consideration that you might have some copyright issues in the future if you're not careful enough, especially when you're publishing books on Amazon. And so we're doing this for a lot of things. Now, some people are not interested with copyright until they get an issue. That's when they come and they're afraid and they say, oh, I wish I have taken care of this. I wish I have had taken this into consideration back when I started. But now I'm telling you that, and I'm actually trying to be as rough with you as possible because this is not something to take lightly, okay? Because I know most people are gonna watch the course, they're just gonna watch the lectures, and they're not going to care as much about copyright. I mean, they just want to publish the book and, oh, I published a book. Oh my God, I can make money now. Money is not important if you're not adhering to the law, okay? Because you can lose not just that money, but more more than that money in a lawsuit. Now, this is not funny stuff, but you can protect yourself from anything like this by following what I'm going to teach you in this particular lecture, and also by consulting a professional. Now, this copyright page was actually not devised by me entirely. I've done a lot of research, and also I've worked for 5 years in the field of an industry. So I was an industry, let's say, an industry expert when it comes to purchasing. So we used to purchase big equipment when I was in the factory, a huge factory. We purchased equipment from all over the world. And at one point in time, I was actually responsible of making sure there are contracts between us and these particular suppliers all over the world to make sure that there is no issue with customs. And so I've devised a couple of contracts, professional contracts in my life. I've come across a lot of legal people in my life, attorneys and stuff. 5 years of experience in the domain and in very, very constant relation with customs. And I know a thing or two about firsthand these copyright issues and how to actually protect yourself. And we're going to teach you that in this lecture. And by the way, you can actually take the copyright page that I shared with you in the resources section of this particular lecture here, and you can use it, okay? You can use it exactly as it is. All you have to do is to just change the name of your brand. Now, in my case here, the name of my brand is Passive Income Gen Z, which basically is the reason why here I'm saying Passive Income Gen Z. So in your case, it should be different, okay? It should be different, but you can use everything else right here. Also here, you need to be careful here. This is published by Passive Income Gen Z, so change that as well. But you'll find the link in the resources. Now, this copyright page is pretty simple, and it starts off by saying that no part of this book may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, scanning, or otherwise, except as permitted under Section 107 or 108 in the 1976 United States Copyright Act without the prior written permission of the publisher. Now, this actually protects you from any people that are going to copy your book or that are going to try to sell your book as if they were you, because you could sue these people for copyright infringement, and you can make a lot of money from that copyright lawsuit if you do that. And you could get all the, perhaps, let's say if they sold the book elsewhere, if they took your book and used it to write other books, you could sue them. Now, considering if you have written the book yourself, okay, if you have written the book yourself, this is something you can do because you can say, that's my book. I've taken time. It's my intellectual property. You're infringing on it. This is a paragraph that actually protects you from that. This paragraph, the following paragraph is very interesting. This book is protected under the copyright laws of the United States of America. Any reproduction or unauthorized use of the material or artwork contained herein is prohibited without the express written consent of the publisher. So you can give people, for example, you can send them an email, or if they send you an email requiring that you give them the right to, let's say, use one of your paragraphs in their book or quote you in their book, if they take your consent, they're actually more than allowed to do that. Also here, this is one of the most important paragraphs, and pay careful attention to this. This book is intended solely for informational and educational purposes. It should not be used as a substitute for professional, financial, or legal advice. The author and publisher make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the book's completeness, accuracy, reliability, suitability, or availability, or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained in the book for any purpose. Therefore, any reliance placed on such information is strictly at your own risk. So in here, we're actually making sure that no one can say, I've read this book and because of it, I've lost my job, or I've applied what is taught in the book and it caused me this issue. Now what we're doing is we're saying we are not taking, actually, we're not saying that what is in the book is something that you should apply 100%, that we're claiming it's 100% true, okay? We're leaving it in the reader's field of responsibility to take a decision to act on this book or not, okay? So this book may include affiliate links. Now this is pretty good, right? So because sometimes you might include affiliate links, and for specific affiliate links, like for example, Amazon affiliate links, even Amazon in their foreclosure, they're going to tell you that you have to mention that you're an Amazon affiliate somewhere when you are telling people to go to the Amazon website, because otherwise you get into trouble by not doing that with Amazon. And people have gotten in the past in certain trouble, not a lot of people again, but there's the minority, and we just want to make sure that we are not that minority. So just so you know. Now here, please consult with a professional advisor or attorney before making any financial decisions based on the content of this book. The author and publisher are not responsible for errors, inaccuracies, or omissions. They shall not be liable for any loss or damage of any kind, including but not limited to any direct, indirect, incidental, consequential, special, or exemplary damages arising from or in any connection with the use of this book or its information. So here, what we're actually doing is we're saying this book is your own responsibility. If you decide to act on it, it's your responsibility. If you quit your job because you thought, well, this book says I can make money online, let me go and quit my job. And one day you might say, it's because of the book I lost my job. It's your own responsibility. So it's always making sure that we hold the person accountable and we give him the responsibility, okay, in order not to have any issues. And this document right here, even though it's really small, but it's incredibly important that you integrate it in your manuscript, which is the reason why I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And since I have nothing to change about the Passive Income Gen Z is my brand, so I don't have to change anything. I'm going to go back right here, and where I'm going to place it is, it's your choice. You can introduce it after the introduction or before the introduction. I prefer to introduce it before the introduction in a page of itself. And the copyright page must not be included in the curriculum because it's the front page, and it's not really, I'm not going to make this heading here heading number 1. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase its size to particularly here 16, but I'm just going to keep it as normal text. Okay. Now we have our copyright page. So just to make sure that this is formatted correctly, I'm going to select everything. And I'm actually going to go ahead over here, click on format and clear formatting. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click over here on the this right here, and I'm going to add 1.5% line spacing or paragraph spacing, and I'm going to add space after the paragraph. And here I'm going to have to make sure that I remove an extra spacing because that's not really required. There you go. Another one again here as well, and this one here, this one here, this one. So now we have our copyright page. Feel free to download it. And if I was a little too harsh, indulge me, because I just don't want any one of you having any issues with copyright. And I want to make sure that I deliver. I don't want to make a course where I just tell you publish a book, you can use ChatGPT, you can do this, you can do that, without holding myself responsible of the information that I give you I want to make sure I give you an information that doesn't cause you any issues and that you can apply easily without having to worry about any legal issues. So now let's move on to the next lecture, in which we're going to actually go ahead and generate more of the book. So in this particular lecture that follows, I'm going to show you how you can generate all of these lectures up to chapter number 2. The last lecture of chapter, or the last heading of chapter number 2 is where we're actually going to stop. Okay. And from there on, you can just use what I'm going to teach you in the next lecture to move on and to generate the text for the next chapters and the next headings using ChatGPT. No problem. Because see, I cannot make a lecture of 30 hours long, because that's exactly how much it's going to take us if I were to show you how to format your book from beginning to the end. Because it took me about a week to create this book right here on Amazon. Let me go back to the bookshelf. So this book right here that you're looking at, it actually took me a week. And that's not a far-fetched, because it's a 152-page book. And I have written it myself with, of course, the help of ChatGPT slightly. I didn't really rely on ChatGPT for more than 20%. The other 80% is just me writing the text, which is why it took that long. And I recommend you to do the same thing as well. Even if you're going to write the book using ChatGPT, at least check the book against AI content generated percentage and make sure that you at least try to remove the plagiarism if you can, or if you find any. And also make sure that you repurpose the content. If ChatGPT gives you a paragraph, in your best interest, it would be great if you were to just go back to these particular paragraphs and try to change them just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, and to add your own touch as a writer to these particular chapters or paragraphs. But you can actually rely completely on ChatGPT if you are the type that don't want to write anything, or you just want to test if this is a business model that works, relying completely on ChatGPT. Even though I think it works, because it has been proven with the book that I've shown you at the beginning of the lecture. The guy literally wrote the entire book using ChatGPT and Jasper AI, and now he's a bestseller. He's making thousands of dollars a month. Probably has already exceeded the $100,000 mark from that one book alone. And so now I'll leave you to it. See you in the next lecture, in which we're going to continue the business.